Welcome to the Hot Corner Show on the ISPS Radio Podcast Network with your host, Dr. Ray, the softball-playing chiropractor and the official chiropractor of ISPS, and Manuel T. Ferrero III, the commissioner of International Slow Pitch Softball. Listen to the Hot Corner Show every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on the ISPS Radio Podcast channel. Call the show at 347-637-3978 and talk sports and health topics with Dr. Ray. Plus, slow pitch softball from around the world with Manuel T. Ferrero III, fantasy sports, special guests, and more. Call the show now on the special guest call-in hotline at 347-637-3978. Now, bring your A game, because you're about to experience the Hot Corner.
Yeah, Cinco, back with another OG rap. We're going off topic, baby. You know, when you're on your way to the ball field, you get that feeling. It's breakfast, and you know, you better hurry. Yeah, just pulled into the parking lot. Man, my stomach really hurts a lot. My left side feels like I've been shot. I'm gonna have to use the ball field pot. Almost time to ball, you know I'm gonna hit. But before I do, I gotta take a shit. Bathroom ain't looking real neat. Under the stall, all I see is feet. I gotta go right now. I can't use the woods, ain't got no towel. Hey, cuz y'all better hurry up, cause I don't wanna have to shit in the cup. One of these players is finally done. Stall door opens and I make my run. It's time to go, I'm really feeling the heat. There's no time to even wipe off the seat. I had to poop in the ball field bathroom. I had to poop in the ball field bathroom. I had to poop in the ball field bathroom, and y'all know how it feels. I had to poop in the ball field bathroom. I had to poop in the ball field bathroom. I had to poop in the ball field bathroom, and y'all know how I feel. I got my spot and I'm feeling relieved. Now I wish these other players would leave. I'm on the verge of straight dropping a load, but I don't want the world to hear me explode. All of a sudden feet came off the ground. I couldn't help that gurgling sound. Trying not to laugh, trying to hush. I heard, hey, I've had a courtesy flush. All I could think is really, wow. I know it stinks, but they ain't getting one now. Now I gotta hurry, it's time to bat. Now I'm wondering where the toilet paper at. I had to poop in the ball field bathroom. I had to poop in the ball field bathroom. I had to poop in the ball field bathroom, and y'all know how it feels. I had to poop in the ball field bathroom. I had to poop in the ball field bathroom. I had to poop in the ball field bathroom, but y'all know how it feels. Yeah!
Listen in to Dr. Ray and Manuel T. Ferrero III each and every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on the International Slow Pitch Softball Radio Podcast channel at ISPSradio.com.
All right. Hello, everybody. How we doing tonight? It's your host here, Dr. Ray, at Dr. Ray T on Twitter and Instagram. You can always find me. You can always tweet me. We're here live like we do, I'd say almost every single Wednesday night here on the Hot Corner. Hope everybody's having a good one. Manny, how you doing out there tonight, sir?
I'm doing fantastic, Dr. Ray. Fantastic. I can't wait to talk about a few things on the show tonight, especially my trip to Louisville, Kentucky, and Southern Indiana. I can't wait to talk to you about that, Dr. Ray. But first and foremost, Dr. Ray, happy birthday to you, brother. Happy birthday to Dr. Ray.
Thank you very much there, Manny. I really appreciate it. Birthdays are always fun. I feel, although this was the most insignificant birthday because, once you kind of get a little bit older, birthdays don't count quite as much. 30 last year, that was a big deal, new decade, all that. We did it big. We had a blast. It was awesome. We rented a party bus, all that kind of stuff. This year, I played hooky on Friday, closed the office down, went fishing at Lake Okeechobee, sunburnt the crap out of my feet. I mean, my feet were just all red. Caught a bunch of bass, had some fun, but I was in bed at 9:30 on a Friday night, man. Can you believe that? I'm getting old, man. And then Saturday, same thing, just spent the day with my family, that kind of stuff, and it was actually really nice, man. One of the first times I've really spent, like, a really quality family time with my birthday, with my family and everything, so it was nice. And I got a nice little toy, too, that we might talk about, I don't know, but for my birthday. But anyway, Manny, I want to know about this trip, man. Tell me about what's going on. I appreciate the birthday wishes, but I didn't get a tour of Louisville. Tell me about it.
Well, before we move on to that, Dr. Ray, we have a little surprise from our friends. We have a lot of friends in a lot of places, but Dr. Ray, happy birthday, brother. This is for you.
OneHappyBirthday.com.
There you go, Dr. Ray. That's from our friends at OneHappyBirthday.com. Dr. Ray, what do you think about that?
I think I'm going to be singing that all week, man. That was great. They got that in my head. Man, that was awesome. I was sitting here snapping. I was rocking. I was doing it, man. That was good. I like that. I'm going to have to put that on repeat. But, no, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for taking the time, Manny. I appreciate it. You always take your time to make stuff happen, and I appreciate it, my man. I appreciate it. So what do we got up here on the show tonight, man? We got a lot of stuff to talk about. We're going to be talking about allergies for our health topic. Man, allergies have been killer. Everybody's coming in with allergies nowadays. I don't know what's going on, but we're going to be talking about that. We've got a special guest tonight, Manny. Who's our special guest for tonight? Who's our guest for the show?
And we have Ron Buono. I hope I get his last name right. Buono, which if I remember from my Italian class back in high school, Buono means good or well. So we'll ask him about that. He's from 9 Zone Baseball, and they're the makers of the UT. U like underhand U. Check them out. They're at, I believe, 9zonebaseball.com. Correct, yes, 9zonebaseball.com. We're going to be talking to him a little bit later. And like you said, allergies, man. Over there in Kentucky, actually in Indiana, I was able and fortunate to play out there at Champions Point, and my allergies were killing me on the golf course, man, killing me.
Yeah, man, I tell you, it's been happening a lot. I've actually even suffered from some allergies as of late, and so that's what we're going to talk about today. So for anybody out there listening, if you guys have allergies at all, or you're doing something right now that's helped your allergies, or you're doing something and it's not helping, or whatever, you want to talk about what's bugging you, let us know. You can call us in at 347-637-3978. Again, that's area code 347-637-3978. You can also tweet us. You can tweet us at ISPSO or at Dr. Ray T. And you can also reach us on Facebook at facebook.com/353HEAL or facebook.com/ISPSO. So feel free to be a part of the show here tonight as we talk about allergies, as we have our special guest, Ron, from 9 Zone Baseball. And we'll go ahead and be back with the fantasy baseball edition of the Hot Corner Listener League coming up right now after this break.
Listen in to Dr. Ray and Manuel T. Ferrero III each and every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on the International Slow Pitch Softball Radio Podcast channel at ISPSradio.com.
All right. So we're back in action here, and we're talking fantasy baseball right now. So for any of you guys out there that are playing fantasy baseball, and if there's any of the guys from our listener league that are on the air right now listening with us, feel free to tell us if you guys want to make a trade, if you guys are having some offers, if you guys are wondering who to pick up, who to drop, what's going on. Feel free to call in. I'm no expert, but I am 6-0 right now, and I'm in first place in 2 of my other leagues as well. And I started out in last place in one of my other leagues, and I've already climbed up to 5th place in the last 2 weeks. So things are starting to shake out. My players are starting to do their things. And fantasy baseball is doing what it always does, and I'm letting the game come to me, Manny. That's what it's all about. So, Manny, how are you enjoying right now? You're sitting pretty in 4th place at 4-2. You're the only team that's 4-2 right now. You got a lot of points scored against you as well, too. But tell me, how are you liking it so far, my man?
Dr. Ray, I'm right in the middle of the pack, man. I'm right in the middle of the pack. I'm doing big things here. I'm making some waiver moves. As you can see, again, I'm the top team making the most moves with 31. And this week I'm currently winning. I'm winning by about 40 points in my week. I'm right where I want to be, man. Right in the middle of the pack, Dr. Ray. Right in the middle of the pack.
Excellent, my man. That's good to hear. Myself, I'm actually losing this week. It's funny because Gabe, one of the directors for ISPS, I'm playing against him. And, I was hanging out with him the other week, and I said, Gabe, man, what's up? Are you, check the league, man, check the league. And he said, no, I don't want to check the league. He's like, I don't care. He's got guys on the DL. He's got, all kinds of crazy stuff going on. And he's still winning right now. So he's beating me 107-82. So, Gabe, if you're not checking your league, you're still winning right now. So congratulations on that. And that means I got my work cut out for me. I think that so far there's been 2 guys that have really contributed to my team doing very well here. And that's one of them was a pickup and one of them was kind of a mid-round draft. And the first one was Nelson Cruz. I can promise you that most teams that are in first place right now probably have Nelson Cruz on them. Additionally, Jason Kipnis. This guy has lit the world on fire in May. And somebody dropped him, and, I had a feeling that he was going to come back. A couple of years ago, he was, the top second baseman in the league. Last year, the season was injury-riddled, but he's really made a great turnaround, and I think he was the number 1 rated fantasy player in all of May so far. So he's doing very, very well for me as well, too. So I'm happy with the team I got here. I've got an empty spot on my roster. So I'm trying to figure out who am I going to go and pick up right now. I don't know what to do here, Manny. I'm looking at all these players. There's a bunch of players here that are worth a pickup. But you know what? I think I've got a lot of relief pitchers right now. I've got 4 closers. I've got Luke Gregerson, Andrew Miller, Brad Boxberger, and also Kenley Jansen. So I've got a lot of guys right now that are closing games out for me, and that's pretty good because those guys can pitch a few times a week and still rack up some points with the saves. But I think I want to get another starter because in this league, the starters are really worth a lot. Whoa, hey, we got a text, we got a call, we got a tweet. What do we got going on, Manny? Talk to me.
Dr. Ray, I'm having a private message coming in on Facebook from Mr. Torres over there on the Gulf Coast of Florida. He wants to know what Dr. Ray thinks about the decision that the Marlins have made with their new manager.
Man, you know what? That's a great question, as a matter of fact. I was actually at the game on Sunday for my birthday my chiropractic school roommate actually had some tickets. We sat in the 12th row behind home plate. It was awesome. And he went out to go smoke a cigarette. And I was giving him, crap about smoking a cigarette. I was like, I can't believe you're still smoking cigarettes and this and that. And the guys next to us out there on the balcony were talking about, all they're going to be talking about on the radio this week is Mike Redmond getting fired. And that's the first time that I had really had any idea that something like that was going to go on. I first heard of, that's the first time I've heard of it. And I was thinking, why would they fire Mike Redmond? I know the team's been playing a little bit uninspired. I think the comments that Giancarlo Stanton made a little earlier in the year about the fact that he feels like there's no fire, no sense of urgency, I think that falls directly on the manager's shoulders. I didn't really put two and two together at that point. Just thinking, hey, it's a brand new team. We got a lot of older guys, a lot of young guys. Nobody really that's kind of in the middle. Except for Stanton, really, and he was the one who came out and said something. So, I put a lot of what's happened so far on Redmond because if you got your struggler closing, your struggler, if you got your closer struggling the way that Cishek was struggling, you got to recognize that, and you got to do something. Put it on the pitching coach, whatever you want to do, but at the same time, with a guy like Cishek, it's hard to have a pitching coach actually help him because it's such an unorthodox motion. So I feel like it's on Redmond to realize that he's got to make a change earlier. If you take some of those blown saves back that we have from Cishek, not only does it deflate the team when you have the lead in the ninth inning and then you lose it, especially to a walk-off, but, I just think that it's one of those things where he didn't make the best calls. He made calls that, it's not that he made bad calls, but he didn't make the calls that he needed to make. And I think in the end that's what led to him being fired. And I agree with it. I can't say that I don't. I personally think that Dan Jennings is not the answer. I think that this is a year that we want to make a run for it, and to put Dan Jennings in as the manager. I know that he's played a lot in which players we actually have on the team, but I don't think having him on the field as the manager is the right call. And so far he's 0-2. So. And right now, Peralta grounded out to first, and Pollock scored already, so we're already losing 1-0 in first or second inning or whatever they're in right now. So, again, I don't know if Jennings is the answer. Maybe they'll start to play for him, but I don't know too much about Dan Jennings, quite honestly. Did he ever play before, Manny? Do you know? I don't think he was a player. I think he's just, upper management, and they threw him in the driver's seat.
Upper management, Dr. Ray. Upper management. He's never coached since high school. He's never played. And I was commenting about this with some people earlier in the week. The last two times that the Marlins went for it, they had Jack McKeon and Jimmy Leland. Man, those guys, older guys, close to 80s. They had a lot of experience managing teams, managing different personalities. This guy, he might have had a hand to put this team together, but that doesn't mean he knows how to handle these people, these athletes. And you could tell he has no idea what's going on. You could tell yesterday. I was watching the game when he went out there to take out Dunn. He looked like a deer sucker in between headlights, man. He really had no idea what he was doing out there. You could tell, and I bet the rest of the major leagues, especially probably all the managers, are very upset with the Marlins for doing this type of move, man. It's like a slap in the face to all those managers out there, man. And dude, with people like Dusty Baker, man, Dusty Baker would have been a great pick right there, man, for manager. What do you think, Dr. Ray? Dusty Baker down here in Miami?
I like Dusty Baker because he's one of those guys that's going to light a fire under the team. He's one of those guys that a lot of people will have respect for, like you said already, and he's baseball smart. Dan Jennings might be able to be a good scout or whatever you want to call him, and know how to structure a contract, but last night you can't leave Mike Dunn in against two righties. I can't believe he got Goldschmidt to strike out, number one. Once that happens, you got to say, thank my lucky stars. I was able to leave my lefty in against a lefty and then probably one of the best righties in the game in Paul Goldschmidt. And then you're going to test your luck with another pinch hitter who comes in, and A.J. Pollock just hit it out of the park and won the game for him. So, and then now you got Mike Dunn who's saying, oh, man, I blew the game. And then his confidence is down. And we need that bullpen. Like, we need our bullpen right now more than anything. So, they turned down Soriano to bring him in as a closer. A.J. Ramos, he's got a live arm. We'll see what he can do. But, I'm scared right now that we don't really have a closer. I think that one of the things the Marlins want to do is if they can start to pull themselves up and put some games together in the win column, is maybe go after a guy like Jonathan Papelbon or something like that and really get a closer in the back there. So, we'll see. We ended up talking more real baseball here than fantasy baseball, but that's okay with me too. That's what we're here for, whatever you guys want to talk about. So, Mr. Torres, I hope we answered your question there. All in all, I think that, I agree with the firing. I don't agree with the hiring. So that's my take on the whole managerial situation. But anyway, we'll see how it shakes up. And they said that he's the manager for the rest of the year, but I feel like if they keep on a losing streak, they might see if they can make a change there. But anyway, we'll see what we got. We need to hit a commercial here.
Dr. Ray, over under. He manages more games than Mike Redmond. Over under.
I'm going to say over. I think that he, more games this year or more games in total than Mike Redmond?
More games in total than Mike Redmond with the Marlins.
No, because Mike Redmond also has a whole season under his belt, so I don't necessarily think so. But, I liked Red. I guess it's just, it wasn't enough, being his first managerial job. But then you got guys like Brad Ausmus who are managing, very well, so I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, we got to stick to schedule. We got to get to that commercial break. And when we get back, we're going to be talking a little bit more about how sunburned my feet got on my birthday.
Listen to the Hot Corner Show every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on the ISPS Radio Podcast channel. Call the show at 347-637-3978 and talk sports and health topics with Dr. Ray. Plus, slow-pitch softball from around the world with Manuel T. Ferrero III, fantasy sports, special guests, and more. Call the show now on the special guest call-in hotline at 347-637-3978. Now, bring your A game, because you're about to experience the Hot Corner.
All right, and we're back with the Hot Corner. And I am the softball-playing chiropractor, Dr. Ray, your host here each and every Wednesday night. And right now we're going to talk a little bit about my birthday weekend. We had a birthday this week. I turned 31 this past Saturday, the 16th of May. And like I mentioned earlier, we talked a little bit about it. Manny, I can't tell you how nice it was to know that I had a day off, that I normally don't have a day off, and take the time to go fishing with one of my best friends who actually has the same exact birthday as me. So we went out on his boat on Lake Okeechobee in 2 feet of water, and we were bass fishing the whole entire day. And it was great. I mean, we caught a bunch of fish. We were out there. I was covered from basically knees up. I had one of those army hats on that goes all the way around. I had a buff on that was covering my whole face so that the reflection from the water wouldn't get me. I had some glasses on. I had a long sleeve shirt. I had my shorts on, but then I had sandals on. So I didn't realize until about 4 o'clock in the afternoon that my feet were just killing me. And I looked down and I had the funniest tan where it looked like I was still wearing a sandal, man. It was hilarious. But it was a lot of fun to, like I said, play hooky and take some time. And I've been working really hard. So to go out there and just kind of relax in nature and just being on the lake and, just messing around with these fish, it was a lot of fun. So I was happy that I was able to do that. And then got some Cheesecake Factory in with my family. That was great. So it was overall a real good birthday. Again, I didn't go all out like I used to, and rent party buses and go to clubs and do all that stuff. But hey, man, I'm 31 now. I'm getting old. So what do you think, Manny?
Hey, you're settling down. you're becoming old, man. Está viejo, man, like they say in Cuban. Está viejo, te estás poniendo viejo, Dr. Ray. 31 years old. I remember when I was 31 years old. That was that was just like 2-3 years ago. Man, bro, but congratulations, Dr. Ray. Happy birthday to you, my brother. Happy birthday, man. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And bro, I've never been out there to Lake Okeechobee fishing, man. So what did you catch out there? Bass?
Yeah, bass fishing is your target. There's also a bunch of other fish in the lake, but you don't want to catch them so much because some of them are, they got teeth and whatever the case is. But, the sport is really to catch bass, largemouth bass in Lake Okeechobee, and that's what we were looking for. But the other fish that you can catch accidentally are like gars. Garfish are out there, and those guys are no fun to deal with. And then you also have mudfish that you can catch and bluegill. And shiners, of course. And shiners are pretty much what the big bass really like to eat. So a lot of guys go out and they go shiner fishing, and then they use those shiners to go after some real big bass. But yeah, man, it's a lot of fun out there. If you've never been, I suggest that you go because it really is fun.
I'll definitely try to make it out there, man. How big is Lake Okeechobee, man? That must look like an ocean out there, right?
You know what? It really does. I mean, Lake Okeechobee is way bigger than people give it credit for. It is, huge. It's almost like you almost kind of feel like you're in the Everglades even because it's so shallow. Most of the lake, that we were in. And there was a nice, tiki bar out there, too, where we got some lunch. I had a fish sandwich, which was great, after being out on the water, and just exhausted. Man, at the end of the day, my hand from all the reeling, I had a lot of swim baits out. So it's literally cast, reel, cast, reel, cast, reel, cast, over and over and over. And the first part of the day, we couldn't really find any fish. We had to kind of drop the bait right on their head. Because they weren't really chasing and they weren't really biting so much. But, when you throw it right at them, they don't really have a choice. They just kind of react. But the second half of the day, we found a spot, and we just were killing it. There was just maybe every third or fourth cast, we were just reeling something in. Some big boys, too, so we were having some fun. Most of them were like 3 pounds that we ended up catching. I think the biggest one that we caught was about 6 pounds, which, it's not huge, but it's a pretty good-sized fish and a lot of fun on that fight. So, that was it, man. It was a great time, and, got home around 7:30. I was just exhausted, man. I was like, oh, what am I going to do now? I just passed out, So it was nice. Woke up Saturday, went to work, adjusted. I had like 20 people come in the office on Saturday morning, which was great, and then just enjoyed the rest of the weekend off, and it was nice, So it was a good birthday weekend, and then now we got Memorial Weekend coming up. So I love May, man. May is the best month.
I bet, brother. I bet. Well, man, one more time, Dr. Ray. Happy birthday, Dr. Ray. And why don't we play that song one more time, just because it's your birthday, brother. Happy birthday, Dr. Ray.
Man, that's a great song. I can't get over it, man. I love it. But Manny, tell me about now. Let's talk about your trip, man. Let's go Louisville. So Louisville is like synonymous with baseball, man. Like, this is an amazing trip that you just went on, man. Tell us about it. What happened?
Brother, you just hit it on the nail on the head, brother. It is all to do with baseball and horses, Dr. Ray. Remember, the Kentucky Derby is right there in Louisville, man. It's right outside, actually, of the University of Louisville campus, man, which, by the way, is a huge, huge campus. It makes the University of Miami campus look like nothing, man. Look like maybe like a little high school or something. But tremendous facility. I was able to actually go out there to what's it called, Churchill Downs, and I was able to pay my respects to Barbaro, which I had no idea is actually buried there. And I learned something, that they usually just bury the head and the hooves of a horse, but in this case, in Barbaro's case, they buried the entire horse, the entire body of the horse, and he is buried there under a statue there commemorating Barbaro. And dude, he was only 3 years old. He didn't even reach 4 years, which I thought that was kind of sad, man, that he was only 3 years old before they put him to sleep. But man, Dr. Ray, tremendous trip. I want to give big thanks to Kate Kane from Southern Indiana. They hosted me along with the Sheraton Hotel, first class all the way, Dr. Ray, first class suite, first class round trip tickets. I was able to set up some meetings with a bunch of local businesses, local restaurants, a local chamber. What else? Oh, and of course, I was able to go to Louisville Slugger, and I received some gifts, which, by the way, I brought something back for you, Dr. Ray. Remind me to give it to you next time I pass by the office. But, man, tremendous facility, Dr. Ray. I was able to they gave me a private VIP tour, like behind the scenes. I had to actually wear these white gloves inside the vault. It's this place that they call the Vault, which has all the models, the player models of the history of Louisville Slugger, pretty much. It's like a whole wall where they have a bunch of slabs of baseball bats, pretty much. Something that was very interesting was, let's say you, Dr. Ray. Dr. Ray, what is your favorite number?
My favorite baseball number?
Yeah, I guess your jersey number. What is your jersey number?
16.
Okay, so let's say in the early 1900s, Ray Tomos came to Louisville Slugger and he designed his own bat. And he designed the RT16. It's never been designed before, so they would put it as an RT16. Now that bat, that design model, goes into the vault forever. Let's say 50 years down the road, somebody else comes in and he likes the RT16. Well, they get that RT16 and they stamp it with the new player's signature on the barrel of the bat, but the RT16 will stay forever and ever for the history of Louisville right there in the vault. So the actual design of the bat stays forever with the original player design, whoever the original player was, the bat was designed for, and I thought that was pretty special, man. Which it just so happened that Cal Ripken Jr. and Derek Jeter, they used the same model bat that I forgot what the model was, but it was some minor league player in the early 1900s who also plays shortstop. And it just so happened that Cal Ripken Jr. and Derek Jeter, without knowing, they used that same model bat for their whole careers, which I thought was pretty interesting. What else can I tell you? Oh, Dr. Ray, how much do you think they gave a contract to Roberto Clemente for him to swing Louisville Slugger bats?
Oh man, that's a tough question. Roberto Clemente, what year was that?
It must have been in the 70s. Before, now remember, this is before agents. This is before super sports agents and all that stuff. So don't go with some crazy number.
Man, I'm gonna go with a stupid low number. I'm gonna say like $25 or something.
Well, you're very close. It was $50 and a set of golf clubs,
Wow.
which he actually had them shipped to an old baseball coach of him in the minor leagues who lived in Kentucky, and he got the golf clubs. Roberto got the $50, and he promised them to use the Louisville Slugger bats. But the Pirates still paid for all the bats, so it was a pretty sweet deal for Louisville Slugger, man. And another one that was kind of similar to that before the super agents was Tony Gwynn, man. Tony Gwynn only got $100 and a set of golf clubs, man. And I saw the actual contract in the vault, and it was pretty amazing, man. Pretty amazing before all these super agents came into play and changed the game tremendously. But nothing much, Dr. Ray. We're going to be hosting a Midwest Regional World Qualifier over there. Over there, it's very small town USA, you know what I mean? So everything's really close. So we're going to be in 3 different communities: Jeffersonville, Clarksville, and New Albany. We're going to be in 3 different locations. Louisville Slugger is fully sponsoring the tournament, alongside with the Southern Indiana organization and some other sponsors that you could check out at ISPSsoftball.com, Dr. Ray. But man, tremendous trip. First class all the way. Man, I had a suite in the Sheraton, Dr. Ray. They gave me some cheeses and everything. We had some bubbly water. It was very, very nice, man. Very, very nice.
Man, it sounds like a great trip, man. I'm happy for you, and I saw the pictures, man. I felt like I was right there with you the whole time. So that's awesome, and congratulations on being able to get out there and really seeing, the history of the game that we got going on, man. Baseball, softball, and the tradition, and just awesome to see that a company like Louisville is doing these things, still for the patrons of the game. So hats off to them as well too for extending the offer, and man, congratulations on being the one to be able to accept it, man. That was great, and maybe we got to set something up with Louisville, man. We got to see, once we really take this thing global and get big, man, we might have to start doing like some sweepstakes and stuff. Maybe, some Louisville Slugger getaways. I mean, I don't know, man. Well, I'm thinking big here, Manny. What do you think?
Oh, don't worry. It's coming. It's coming, Dr. Ray. When I get back up there in August, after this tournament, everything will start getting in motion. This tournament will be the actual kickoff for our partnership with Louisville Slugger. So stay tuned till after August 14th through the 16th up there in Southern Indiana. And stay tuned. You'll see pictures. I don't know if you saw that picture with me and old Babe Ruth's bat. And the other one that I thought was very interesting, Dr. Ray, Willie Mays, Dr. Ray. You should see that guy's bat, man. That was a tree trunk. That thing was. He must have had hands, the size of a bear or something, man. It was. I couldn't believe how somebody could swing that big of a barrel, that big of a handle, man. It was incredible.
Man, that's amazing. Well, I encourage everybody to get out there and check out some of the pictures that Manny actually did post. You can find them all over his social media. Manny, tell them where they can take a look at some of these pictures and, some of the stuff that you did while you were up there in Louisville.
Oh, yeah. It's all over all the ISPS social media. And if you want to follow my personal one, it's at Manuel Ferrero on Twitter and Ferrero M3 on Instagram. You'll check it out right there. You'll see some pictures from Louisville, man. I was able to also get, man, Dr. Ray, they have a tremendous museum, a tremendous factory, and a factory store where you could get personalized Louisville Slugger bats. And I got my son a personalized bat with MF4 and his not his signature obviously, but his name in cursive, and he loved it. And I also bought him a nice leather for kids, but a nice leather fielding glove, which he's been using plastic up till now. He's not even 2 years old, but it's time for him to move to leather, brother.
Yes, sir. The quicker we can get him to leather, the better, my man. So that's awesome to hear, man. Well, congratulations again, everybody. Check that out. We're going to get to a quick break here again, and when we get back, we're going to talk about allergies for a few minutes. And then remember, a little bit later on, we're going to be bringing on our special guest, Mr. Ron Buono from 9 Zones Baseball. So give us a minute, and we'll be right back to talk about allergies.
Listen in to Dr. Ray and Manuel T. Ferrero III each and every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on the International Slow Pitch Softball Radio Podcast channel at ISPSradio.com.
All right, so that was a quick break, and we're right back here talking about allergies. So I wanted to break down what an allergy actually is for you guys. A lot of people say, oh, I got allergies and this and that. So let's talk about it. So an allergy is actually a condition in which your immune system is going to react abnormally to a foreign substance. So your immune system is made up of a bunch of white blood cells. And these white blood cells are going to basically do two things. Some of them are out on the prowl looking for foreign invaders like an allergen. Allergens are actually the things that cause allergies. So an allergy is a reaction. An allergen is the cause of that allergy. So most common allergens are, hay, fresh cut grass, pollen, those kinds of things, dust mites, cockroach poop. All those things are cat dander. These are allergens. So the state of the immune system is going to determine the response to that allergen. So if you're a person that is sick constantly, and your immune system is always working, you're going to have a lot of these extra white blood cells that are out there just kind of floating around looking for these allergens. And when you do find them, you're going to have an allergy response. So most commonly, allergy responses are things like runny nose, itchy skin, watery eyes, those kinds of things. And these are, we got a text, call, or tweet. Manny, give it to me. What do we got?
Dr. Ray, we got a text coming in from Carlos. Why every time I step outside in the sun, I sneeze? Is that allergies?
That's pretty funny. As a matter of fact, some people actually have a response to the light where it's actually more of a reflex than it is an allergy. So you're not allergic to the sun. It's more of a light reflex that happens, and it's very common. Most people actually will, as soon as they go outside and they see the sun, they'll sneeze. As a matter of fact, what you can do is if you feel a sneeze coming and you can't, seem to coax it to come and you know that you need to sneeze and whatever the case is, if you actually look up at the light, the chance of your sneeze coming faster will increase. So try that out and you'll see that it's not actually an allergy to a sun, but actually a pupillary response to the reflex that to the light that triggers a reflex to sneeze. So pretty cool fact right there. Actually a great question. Glad you asked. So Thanks for that. But, yeah, definitely not allergic to the sun, so don't worry about that.
Go and get some sun. That's a crazy question.
No, not at all. You'd actually be surprised. I get that question all the time, and that's the reason why I knew the answer so quick, because I've had to study that before. So definitely, not an allergy to the sun. But allergies are something that can really complicate not only your symptoms and the way that you're feeling, but also the way that your body's going to recover from, any type of a sickness. So the main thing that I want you guys to know is that if you are constantly suffering from allergies, it probably means that there's an underlying condition that you have. You may have a virus, like an Epstein-Barr virus, which is mono, or maybe even herpes 1, which you can get from sharing glasses, those kinds of things. But these viral kind of pathogens will increase your immune system and stimulate your immune system to be reactive, and that will cause allergies a lot more. The other thing is that when you have allergies, a lot of times you'll get stuffy and you'll have a decrease in your oxygen levels because you really can't breathe that well. So these allergies will cause just kind of an ongoing problem if you don't take care of them. So if you guys have allergies, right now medically, Flonase is the answer, allergy shots, those kinds of things. Allergy shots are actually not that bad. It's just water and whatever you're allergic to. In my office, we take a little bit more of a comprehensive approach. So if there's allergies and people have allergies, what we do is we try to find out all the things that are causing their immune system to become more active. So we look at food sensitivities. And a lot of times people say food allergies, but it's not a food allergy unless you're a specific type of antibody allergic to it. And we'll talk about that in just 1 second, so remember that. Those are normally sensitivities. So these food sensitivities will stimulate your immune system. Viruses will stimulate your immune system. Bacteria will stimulate your immune system. Parasites will stimulate your immune system. So all these things will get your immune system going and make you more responsive to these allergens. Now, the type of allergy that you're going to suffer from is going to be determined by the type of antibody that your body's going to create. So an IgE antibody is what everybody thinks about when you start to think about, like, My Girl, when, Macaulay Culkin got stung by a bee and he died. That's an IgE anaphylactic shock reaction. So that means that your throat closes up, everything swells up, your body's trying to keep everything out, but unfortunately it does such a good job of that it keeps oxygen out, and you a lot of times will end up asphyxiating. So that's neat. You need an EpiPen for that, and that is not something that is to be taken lightly. People have anaphylactic reactions to peanuts and all these kinds of things, shrimp. So that's something that studies have shown that have been linked to bacteria in the stomach. So again, one of the things that we look at in my office is bacterial stomach issues. Is the bacteria in the stomach the right setup? Is there something in there that shouldn't be in there? That contributes more to allergies than people know. But really, when it comes to allergies, natural medicine has come a long way. And I dare to say right now that it's probably more effective than traditional medicine, because it actually will help you cure the reason why you have it instead of just continually, medicating. And even Flonase can cause damage to the nose and to the sinuses and those things. And people just kind of get tired of that stuff. So, again, taking care of it in a natural way, going to the root of the problem, looking at the immune system and the stomach is, in my opinion, the best way to go, and that's what we do in my office, helping people with allergies. Manny, it sounds like you have a question over there.
Yeah, Dr. Ray, man, I experienced, I think, is what I thought was allergies. When I was playing up there in Indiana, over there at Champions Point, which, by the way, Dr. Ray, beautiful course in the middle of a bunch of barns and farms, and really spread out at different levels, very hilly, a tremendous course. But all over the place, even in the city, I would see those little pieces of, I don't know what they are, but have you seen on TV those little, they look like little stalks with little cotton balls on top, and when the wind blows, pieces of that little ball. Okay,
those are
we don't really see those. We don't really see those down here, but I would see them all over the place over there. And as soon as I went to play golf, I just got overcome sneezing, and my nasal cavities got clogged up. I'm still a little clogged up from the trip, but What do you think was that in my case out there on that golf course?
Well, you know, in your case, that's a little bit different of a story. And the reason that I say that is actually because these are allergens that are brand new to you. When these things are brand new, your body is supposed to have this response and then go ahead and learn how to deal with it. What ends up happening with people when they have this constant exposure is that they can't deal with it. So if you were to stay there for a while, those allergies would all go away. If the bacteria in your stomach was good and your immune system was good. The problem is sometimes is that stuff is not where it needs to be, and we have a hard time overcoming these allergens. But, yeah, that's very common, especially when you go to a different place, to have these allergies because your body may not be well set up to defend against that, maybe due to a nutrient deficiency or something like that. So, Manny, we might have to see you in the office and do a little bit of testing, my friend, if that doesn't clear up.
Oh, definitely, Dr. Ray. I'm gonna try to pass by tomorrow morning, man. No, man, it probably also what you said with fresh grass cut. That was a golf course. They were out there actually cutting the grass in front of our twosome. I played in a twosome, and they were out there cutting the grass before our next shot. But man, tremendous course. But unfortunately, man, my sinuses got the best of me, and I was only able to finish 9 holes, man. I wasn't even able to finish the whole course. I really don't understand what came over me, man.
Nah, that's no good, man. We might need to do some evaluation there, but sometimes they'll get the best of you. Sometimes you just got to get used to them, And if you were to spend some more time there, I'm sure that as long as you're healthy, that you would have been okay with that. But we're just going to have to send you back up there and see what happens. Definitely,
man. I better get acclimated before August comes around, man.
Yes,
but, man, tremendous information about allergies, Dr. Ray.
Yes, sir. And, again, if you guys have any questions or any follow-ups, feel free to email or tweet. You're more than welcome to always ask me questions regarding your health. That's what we're here for. Right now, we're going to get to them a little bit late, but we got to get to them anyway. We're going to hit a quick commercial break, and then when we get back, we're going to be on the line with our special guest, Mr. Ron Buono from 9 Zone Baseball. So get your questions ready about the UT, and we'll be talking with Ron right when we get back.
Listen to the Hot Corner Show every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on the ISPS Radio Podcast channel. Call the show at 347-637-3978 and talk sports and health topics with Dr. Ray. Plus, slow pitch softball from around the world with Manuel T. Ferrero III, fantasy sports, special guests, and more. Call the show now on the special guest call-in hotline at 347-637-3978. Now, bring your A game, because you're about to experience the Hot Corner.
All right. We are back again, and we've got a special guest on the line for you guys here, Mr. Ron Buono. Are you there with us tonight on the line, Ron?
Yes, I am, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Our pleasure. Sorry to keep you on the line waiting for so long. We were supposed to get to you a few minutes ago, but hey, man, it's a pleasure to talk to you. Tell us right about it. Let's not waste any time. Tell us about 9 Zone Baseball.
Well, to make a long story short, we've come up with a hitting tee system. We call it a device that there's nothing else like in the world. It works opposite of traditional tees. The ball is hung upside down via magnetic force, and it has pendulum swinging capabilities and has been scientifically proved by University of Maryland study to be 55% more effective than traditional tees. And I know, Manny, I know you saw our, the video on our website. Just curious, what was your initial reaction to it?
I mean, I thought it was better because the tee is completely, I don't know if you've seen it, Dr. Ray, but the tee is completely out of the way. The bat is never going to, how sometimes you mishit the traditional tees. You could mishit the tee and actually sometimes mess it up. But this The tee is completely out of the way. There's no way that you're gonna, unless you do it intentionally, hit the tee because it's completely out of the way. Check them out at 9zonesbaseball.com, and you'll check it out right there. They have videos, and it's just like Ron said. It's an inverted tee. It's kind of like an upside down L. Check it out.
Mhm. Exactly. And it also has pendulum swing capabilities, which really nothing else can do. There's been some efforts over the years to come up with inverted tees. In fact, John Nash, which is my grandfather's name, in 1968 came up with the first patent of a ball held by magnetic force. And about 6 or 7 years ago, there's a product called VT, which Derek Jeter sponsored, which didn't last long, which had some problems with it. But there have been attempts, and there's even some more recent attempts of trying to come up with it. But ours is very unique in that there's a couple things it can do. First, it can put the ball anywhere in three-dimensional space, an inch off the ground, 6 feet high, inside, outside, wherever you want to hit it. So for hitters to work on weaknesses, it's excellent. Like, I'm a high school baseball coach in the Bronx. I'm a math teacher, and I like to work on high inside pitches and low outside because that's really where the pitchers work, right? That's the out zones. And it's fantastic for working on that. I mean, my team is ripping the ball this year. And we have a Division III team in the Boston area which set records this year who used one of our prototypes. It's fantastic. But I know we don't have much time, guys, but I think this would be fantastic for slow pitch. And we would like to make an offer, all right? We are looking for a women's team to send some to evaluate and, give us feedback. And the first women's team out there who contacts us at sales at 9 Zones Baseball, we'd be happy to donate a couple to the team, go out there, work with them, and would really relish their feedback. I think that for softball with your organization, I know you guys have a lot of power hitters who can hit the ball 400 feet. It's fantastic. I guarantee they will improve. In fact, our first name for it was the 9 Zone Power Trainer, because what it does is it develops power. And if you go to the videos, you'll see my son, Eric, who we were working on this for 3 years, ripping the ball. It's just, we had a kid who went the D3 team from no home runs in 3 years, all right, and then he started using this winter. He hit 11 this year, 6th in the nation, first team all conference, and, he loves it. I mean, it's just, we can't say enough about it.
Now, Ron, what was that offer, and how can they reach you again for that offer?
Okay, our contact, if you go to our website, is sales at 9 Zones Baseball. I'm sorry, we're sort of getting the website going, but that, it's just generic sales. My son Eric or I will respond to you. The first women's team out there, because I know you have a lot in your organization. We went to your website, we looked at the standings and everything. That contacts us. From hearing about this on the show, we will send them some with everything they need, and even work with them. All right, and we would love their feedback, and maybe even get some video of them for promotion for the future. I guarantee that the first team that gets it is going to love it. I guarantee it.
Well, I tell you,
great,
I'm checking it out. I'm checking it out here right now, and I love this idea. I can tell you personally, working with a tee, I actually took some hitting lessons one time when I was in high school with Leo Posada, who is Jorge Posada's father.
Uh-huh.
And he actually invented a tee that was blowing the ball upward because he said the same thing, that the tee will get in the way and you'll be concentrated on not hitting the tee as opposed to hitting the ball.
Exactly, Dr. Ray. Yeah.
Yeah.
The original inventor of one of the, I want to give a shout out to Harvey Ratner. I know his wife's a little ill, and hope everything's good. And he was one of the original inventors of it. He worked for the Orioles, the Angels, the Brewers. And there's two things that it does. First, like you said, a tee is a visual impediment. All right. When you think about it, the way your brain processes a ball coming in, there's nothing underneath the ball, right? And so it's actually a visual impediment. The second thing tees do, traditional tees, it sort of develops the bad habits because you want to unconsciously lift the ball off the tee instead of going straight to the ball. So you you start to drop the back shoulder, get a long bat path. It's not great, and that's the thing that our thing does. We like to think of this as more as a training device. It's not really for practice. I mean, it is for practice. It's fun, but it's more for instruction, training, and development. And what happens is you start. You can work on loading, you can work on timing. You can correct bat paths. And if you have a good coach working with you, you have young kids or whatever, or I guarantee, no matter what age, I don't care. I promise you, I guarantee that they will improve.
Yeah, I definitely don't doubt it. It looks like a great concept, a great idea. I'm going to suggest to you guys out there listening, if you're popping the ball up, if you're struggling with, finding the sweet spot of the bat, if you're hitting the ball and you're getting a lot of vibration, this looks like a tool that can really help you. And as you mentioned, I think the best part about this is it looks very easy to change the location of the ball and to work on not only your strengths, which is, hey, right down the middle, like most tees are, up or down, but here you can put the ball in plenty of different zones, and you can work on driving the ball. You can work on getting the sweet spot of the barrel on the ball there and learning how to tailor your swing so you know how to go with the pitch, as opposed to just trying to hit every pitch over the left field wall. So
exactly.
I like it. This is great. I would love to try out one of these. This looks awesome here. I might have to grab me a UT and take it out to the park along with my with my Jaeger bands too, man. I mean, we're getting hooked up here, Manny.
You'll be all set.
Hey, man, this is great here.
Well, I appreciate your time, guys. It was a lot of fun. And Manny, hopefully maybe we could talk in the future. I'd love to come out to one of your tournaments and bring about 10 of these, because I know you got probably some gorillas who can hit the ball 400 feet. And I
gorillas.
think
gorillas and bigger.
Yeah, I think that they would really get something out of it. I mean, I know you got some great players, and that really like to launch the ball, and I think they'd have a fantastic time with it and really enjoy it.
So, Ron, do you think
definitely, Ron? Let's touch base. I don't know where are you guys based from?
In New York City, but hey, it's we got a car, so we could be from the Bronx. I'm a high school teacher in the Bronx. I'm a math teacher. A lot to talk about. Now, you guys were talking about allergies and golf. All those fit me. And one last thing, guys. My son Eric and I are Mets fans, and we are ecstatic about the Marlins dilemma. Sorry to say that. We're the only. We were worried about the Marlins, but now, hey, the Nationals are our only competition. I mean, hey, anything can happen. The Marlins have great talent. I mean, they could turn it around quickly, but it doesn't look good right now. So. Yeah,
not likely.
So, not to be, rain on your, but, we're a little happy up here. Thanks for having me, guys. It was fun.
Definitely. Well, Ron, we want to thank you for coming on the show here. We got to get things wrapped up. We're a little bit over time. All you guys out there, again, check out the UT, again, at 9zonesbaseball.com. So that's the number 9, zones, ZONES, baseball.com. I shouldn't have to spell baseball for you gorillas out there. But 9zonesbaseball.com. On Facebook, it's also Facebook 9zonesbaseball. So check them out and take a look at the inverted T and see if it would fit your game. Like I said, if you're not hitting the ball as well as you can, practice is what it takes to make it happen. So Ron, thanks a lot for coming on. Manny, it sounds like you had a great trip to Louisville. For you guys that haven't checked out the photos on social media, go ahead and get out there. We're looking forward to our show here next week. Again, trying to keep it as action-packed for you guys as we can, bringing you all the best special guests out there, bringing you the best things to improve your game and improve your health. We want to thank you guys again for listening to the Hot Corner here. This is your host, Dr. Ray, signing off, and we'll see everybody next week. Until then, everybody be well.
You've just heard the Hot Corner Show on the ISPS Radio Podcast Network with the softball-playing chiropractor and official chiropractor of ISPS, Dr. Ray Tolmos, and Commissioner of International Slow Pitch Softball, Manuel T. Ferrero III. Remember to follow the show and hosts on Twitter and Facebook at ISPSO, at DRRAYT. We hope you enjoyed the show and invite you to listen in to Dr. Ray and Manuel T. Ferrero III each and every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on the International Slow Pitch Softball Radio Podcast channel at ISPSradio.com.